everybody, how's it going? This is Babylon 5, this is season 4, this is episode number 17. This episode is called The Face of the Enemy. Last episode we spent a lot of time on Mars with Michael and we finally got to meet Edgar from Edgar Industries, who Michael is now, in a sense, working for. And he's had like a couple of chats with this guy. We've seen him when he was on Babylon 5 with like the people who also work for Edgar's. So it's like, it's an interesting one because Michael's behaviour last episode worried me quite a lot. He seems to think John's like the worst person in the world now. He thinks that, you know, since the whole situation with Lorien, John has changed. But I mean, dying would change a person. Michael just doesn't seem to like the person that John now is after that resurrection, basically. And, you know, I could understand that he's at a point where he's a bit like, this isn't the guy who left. But then at the same time, I'm like, you're now saying to Edgar's you're going to help get John into trouble with Clark. And I'm just like, it's hurting my brain quite a lot, actually. Like, to think that he's doing something like this, especially after everything that, you know, the guys have been through. Whilst all this is going on, we've got Susan on Babylon 5, you know, keeping things ticking over. You've got John with the fleet off liberating colonies. And then we've now found out Delen's on her way back from Minbar after the whole situation and ordeal she's recently been through. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in this one. Let's go.
Captain Sheridan's father's in custody. He's being shipped to a temporary staging area on Mars so we can keep an eye on him.
And they found him through his medication.
You're sure he'll come?
Yeah, he'll come.
Good, good. Let me know when he's in custody.
Shit.
This is John Sheridan to Earth Fleet. I say again, you are ordered to stand down and surrender your vessels. We have no desire to destroy your ships, but if you continue to fight, we'll have no choice.
What difference does it make? We're dead anyway.
It's the catalyst.
They're dead anyway.
What are you talking about?
What do you think I'm talking about? We've been briefed on your campaign, Sheriff. As soon as our forces surrender, our crews are taken out, executed, and then replaced by Minbari crews.
Is that what you've been told?
Oh.
It is, and I believe it.
And you're even dumber than you were at the academy.
Who is that? Mackie? Mackie, is that you?
Alive and well.
I love that these guys
Yeah,
came
I know what
back.
you heard, and it's a load of crap. I'm alive. And remember, my crew is still here. I don't care what you've heard about Sheridan. You know me, Leo. Everything I tell you is on the up and up. Stand down. You won't be harmed.
Oh, God.
Picking up a signal. They're standing down.
Sheridan to attack fleet.
But that doesn't mean they're going
the
to
surrender
join
order.
us,
Ceasefire. I
does
repeat,
it?
ceasefire. Tell the others to...
Just a minute, there's a jump point opening.
Agamemnon to Sheridan? Agamemnon to Sheridan?
Shit.
My old ship. Sheridan to Agamemnon. Tell me you're not here for a fight.
Negative, Captain. We've been chasing you for days, but you're too fast. We couldn't catch you. We're looking to join up if you don't mind.
Mind? Well, you've just made my whole day.
Stephen, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
She likes her security.
You're fast.
Yeah, well, with so many ships called away to fight our forces, we were able to slip through. Now, this is Lita Alexander. She's a telepath. Lita, this is number 1.
Whoa, wait a minute. You came through here a couple of years ago.
Yeah, she
You
did.
didn't say anything about being a telepath.
I couldn't. I was on the run from the Psi Corps.
You should have told us. I didn't know about her, but you did. You should have warned me.
You can trust her. Right? I put my life in her hands. Now, she needs to stay here with the rest of us. We may need her at a moment's notice.
Thank you.
What for?
Our cargo.
What cargo?
That cargo.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Hold it. More telepaths.
Shit.
Yep.
How many?
All of them?
A lot.
Marcus, what's up?
We're receiving a transmission from Mr. Garibaldi.
Shit.
He needs to speak with you. Says it's important.
All right, put him through. Mr. Garibaldi, what is it?
Captain,
Oh,
I just thought you should know. We're not exactly on the best terms right now, but...
No, the animosity is
got your
palpable.
dad, John. They traced him through his medication, picked him up at a safe house 2 days ago just outside of Chicago.
That you
Is
organised.
he all right?
It's hard to get good information, but I think so. They're gonna use him to get to you. If you don't surrender, they're gonna kill him. Now look, we've got a couple of days before they can move on this, and we should be able to break him out. Now I've got some people who can help, but they want a meeting. They know your rep, but thanks to Clark's police state, they're afraid of being set up. So, it's gotta be just you and me, nobody else.
I'll need to verify this through my people. But if it's true, you tell them I'll be there. Alone.
But what if his information is wrong?
It's not. I just got word from my contacts on Earth. They got my dad 2 days ago, just like Michael said.
At least let me send Marcus with you.
Marcus needs to be here as your liaison with the rest of the fleet while I am gone.
Oh.
Now, I will listen to what Garibaldi has to say, and if there's any way we can make this work, we'll find it.
What do you mean, my liaison?
I want you to take my place during my absence. You take White Star 40 and get here as fast as you can.
Someday there's gonna be a war between telepaths and mundane, Stephen. I just hope I don't live to see it.
Maybe after the captain takes care of President Clark, we're gonna work on this, okay? We're gonna
look at
build some
him,
bridges.
trying to
We're gonna
help.
find a more positive way of dealing with the Corps.
I do feel like all Leeta's
We're gonna have
been
a long
through was
wait.
like shit
We
after
just received a
shit.
coded message from Babylon 5. It's about Sheridan.
He's coming to Mars.
I hope he told you what to do with those frozen telepaths, because it looks like you're on your own for a while.
Delenn, Lanier, I'm glad to see you.
It's been 84 years.
Is there a problem?
John's
I'm
gone.
afraid so. President Clark's people have found John's father. They're holding him captive. Mr. Garibaldi thinks he can help, so the captain's en route right now. He wants me to take over the fleet in his absence. I was hoping you can keep an eye on things around here until I get back.
Of course.
Have they just given Delenn like the entire station?
Do you think the captain's all right?
He knows what he's doing. He'll be fine. Assuming Mr. Garibaldi can still be trusted.
Hello, Michael.
Captain, I'm starting to think you weren't going to make it here.
You heard anything else about my father?
Well, just that he's being held at a facility here on Mars. He's not being heavily guarded right now because Clark hasn't announced that he's been captured yet.
So we need
A
to move
facility.
before that happens.
Yeah.
Like the one they would have sent the guy on the
All right.
news to?
What do you want me to do?
You've already done it.
What? It's a drink. Don't fight it.
What are you doing? Just give it up or they're gonna hurt you.
I got here as soon as I could.
Susan,
What's going on?
Does Marcus already
Look like
know?
a pock mirage just ate your cat.
we picked this up off the ISN feed just as you were coming out of hyperspace.
We interrupt our regular programming for this important announcement.
I hate this woman.
The leader of the renegade fleet that has been attempting to destabilize Earth for months has finally been located and detained. Captain John Sheridan, formerly of Earth Force, was captured earlier today by forces loyal to President Clark and is now being held in a secure facility. Unlike many of his victims, he is being given proper care and treatment until a hearing can be convened.
President Clark isn't the real problem. He's trivial. One way or another, he'll be gone in a few years. But the telepaths he put in power, the Psi Corps, those will be with us forever. That's the real danger. If information is power, then telepaths represent the greatest
access
threat
to
freedom we've ever
unlimited
seen.
information.
We have to deal with that, or face the very real possibility of our own extinction.
And this is what Lita's worried about, but on the opposite side of that.
The danger before us is nothing less than the death of human liberty and human
Jesus
thought.
Christ. That's what Lise came to get.
Do you recognize this?
Yeah, that's the package I helped Wade smuggle past customs on Babylon 5.
Yeah.
He said it was a cure for telepaths against some kind of genetic mutation.
Is it not?
Because I knew that the Psychops were after this. Any telepath is a potential risk to my work.
Oh my god.
If they knew for certain what was going on, I'd be dead in 5 minutes.
I think those people we saw,
This vial does contain a cure.
the test
Mr.
subjects
Garibaldi.
were telepaths.
It took my people 3 years to develop it.
What's this
Almost
one?
as long as it took us to develop the virus itself. Telepath problem will finally be over.
Fucking hell.
Hello, Mr. Garibaldi. I received your signal. Now, tell me what you know.
What?
All of it.
Did you get through? Is it true?
You've got the captain all right? It was a setup, and Garibaldi was behind the whole thing.
I just heard he's tried to contact Babylon 5.
You tell Corwin to refuse his signals. There's nothing that he has to say to me right now that I have the slightest interest in hearing.
Shite.
And you tell them that if he turns up on the station, I want that son of a bitch shot on sight.
Sheridan continues to be well-fed and well-treated now that he has been
Also
freed
known
of
as
alien
probably
influences.
being starved
He's
and
reportedly
beaten.
indicated feelings of remorse and regret for his actions against his own home world. We hope to have more on this soon. In other news, William Edgars, founder of Edgars Industries, one of Earth's 10 largest medical research corporations, was found dead this morning along with at least one of his staff. Preliminary reports from investigators on the scene indicate that the resistance may have been responsible for the attack as they continue their assault against business and political targets.
Oh, God.
Nothing is known yet concerning the whereabouts of his wife, Lise Edgars. Finally, ISN sources within
The
Earthstone
resistance
have
were just doing
indicated that
inconvenience.
Captain Sheridan may have been turned in by his own
Convenient.
former head of security, Chief
Group
Warrant
to
Officer
blame.
Michael Garibaldi. If this is true, we at ISN want to convey our personal thanks and gratitude to a true hero of the people.
Well, shit. This went down a rabbit hole. Seeing Michael be so entrenched in everything that was going on, setting it up though so that John's dad could be traced through his medication for his blood disorder that he had, and then setting the meeting up with John for then John to go down to Mars. Michael to only turn around and be like, well, actually, this was like a setup. All you needed to do was come here, put like this drug on his hand, and then that was it. Basically, and just sat and watched as John got beaten to shit and then transported to a facility, which I'm assuming is probably a similar facility, if not the same facility, that we saw or heard of others going to when they were going through like the correction program that the ISN newscasters were talking about previous episodes ago. And it just makes me, I was so angry at one point that I couldn't even speak, because I was just like trying to like not let it come out, because I was just so angry at him. And then it's just like, you finally think you're getting somewhere with this war that we're now in, this phase of this war. John goes aboard the Agamemnon, they decide to join. They've been tracking John for quite a while, and then Michael's message comes through, and even Susan was like, you can't trust this. This is going to be a setup. And John being like, well, I've got to go for it to be a setup. And then, you know, it's like, Delen's back. Delen, I'm assuming, is just looking after the station. But then Susan is now on a White Star with Marcus, because they're now going ahead with the fleet on John's behalf while he'd gone down to Mars. To then see Lise find out what Edgars was actually doing. And Edgars has actually created this disease that would kill telepaths, and it can be airborne, and anyone with telepath DNA in them can die from this. And my brain immediately thought, shit, Susan could probably get affected by this. And then to know that they'd also created a cure. For then Michael to take his tooth out, I was like, shit, what if it's like a cyanide tooth like those two telepaths had when Lisa come to Babylon 5 for that package, only for it to be like a transmitter, and the person that it transmitted a signal to was Bester. And I remember when Michael was being held captive, I thought I saw a Psychor badge or something that made me think, shit, like, can it be? But then it was kind of like, it maybe wasn't that, because there wasn't any kind of more hints really that I picked up on that they could have been involved somehow. But to see that they actually were, and they'd actually rerouted him from a destination that the Shadows were sending him to, and to know he was one of three, there's three again, that the Shadows were contemplating taking when John went to Zahadum, but they chose Garibaldi because they believed he was easier to manipulate. There ain't no way you're getting shit out of Delenn, and there's no way you're going to get anything out of Susan. So it's understandable that Michael probably was their easiest target out of the three of them. So to see that, you know, they chose him for that purpose, and then knowing that they'd probably sent Morden not only to Clark but to also Edgars, is like, shit, they had fingers in every pie. They had things going on everywhere, and this disease that Edgars created to kill the telepaths was probably made with shadow technology. And even like John has said, and Stephen has said, like, we don't know just how much shadow technology is still out there, because we know we've got the two-factor authentication on the telepaths' heads. We've now got this disease that Edgars made, and it's like, shit, we know Volon tech still exists out there because we've got the White Stars. It's worrying knowing that it's out there. Bester running through everything with Michael though on that transport tube was just, I was like, Jesus Christ, man, like, he's going to be so, like, at odds and angry with himself, I think, once he realises just what the hell has actually happened over the past however long it's been since he was brought or found. And I just was kind of thinking to myself, how's Delenn going to react to this? Because, you know, she's been gone for a while. She comes back, John's gone. She kind of knew something was wrong with him when she woke up. And then you've got Susan at the end who's basically like, yeah, if you see Garibaldi anywhere near the station, shoot him. I'm like, I always said from season 2 onwards, they're going to find a way to get inside and try and divide and conquer. And the one person that did it has been Bester. And out of all of the people that I thought might be able to do that, it was not Bester. So it's just, I think I'm probably going to go rewatch this just so I can kind of take it in. Because at the minute, I'm just struggling to process like what this can end up meaning. Because we've got to go get John. I'm going to sign off and say thank you. And I will see you guys later. So thank you.